Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. How are you guys doing? Welcome back in the house. Quick match preview, of course. You know what time it is. Inter's busy schedule, guys, is going to start now. Now is the time when Inter's busy schedule starts. And of course, that means my busy schedule starts as well, doing match previews, match analysis, everything, match reactions, because every game is going to come thick and fast. The midweek games now, there's going to be Champions League games. It's going to be mad. It's going to be crazy. All the way up until the World Cup is going to be very, very busy for these guys, for us as Inter fans, our emotions, our heart rate, our blood pressure. So make sure, guys, top up on your blood pressure pills, top up on anything that helps you, calm down, whatever therapy that you guys use to calm down. Make sure you start topping up on it because, yeah, it's going to be a very, very busy period. And thank you to the 17 people that are joining me today in the house. Thank you very much. Let me give a quick shout out to everyone that's in the house. Balta in the house. Mighty Mao. Yes, sir. We'll talk about Andre Onana potentially. I'm not trying to sell you guys any dreams. I'm not trying to sell you guys any dreams, and don't get ahead of yourselves, but we will talk about it because some of the predicted lineups do have Andre Onana starting. Not me. It wasn't me. It's the predicted lineup. So don't blame me if it doesn't happen. Emil in the house. Bruce Wayne in the house. Mo B in the house. Besisa in the house. Emira in the house. Bokar, my boy. What's up, bro? Rami Sultan in the house. Mateo. What's up, brother? Mari and Biazin talking the Acerbi deal is not happening yet. We'll talk about on that as well. Ahmad, my boy, coming through. And yes, I do. This is actually the first topic that I want to talk about. Very, very well done, Ahmad. You've got the actual topic that I wanted to bring up first. But first, let me give out a shout out to the other guys. Big up, Allah G. You can't fight hate. What's up, brother? DJ Nasco in the house. My Cameroonian in India. I'll never forget that because that's so unique. Such a unique story. No team with 3 wins so far. Exactly, guys. The table were literally 1 point away. All the panicking, all the overreaction over the last weekend or so was a little bit too much, to be honest, guys. Bucky in the house. Yeah, we'll talk about, of course, Lukaku is and yes, the potential of my most hated partnership in world football, Lautaro and Dzeko, potentially returning against the Cremonese tomorrow. But thank you, Future Hendrix, for reminding me of that. That's exactly what I needed. And thank you to Bokar for a super sticker. Come on, bro, you gotta give me a question or something. I really appreciate, of course, the support for the channel and the super chat or the super sticker. But send me a question or something so we can make use of that donation properly. But appreciate that very much. Thank you very much, Bokar. But yeah, let me go back to what Ahmad said because this is actually was my first topic, and I'm not firing shots at any one of you guys or in the fan base. I was just a little bit honestly, guys, I was disappointed with the overreaction a little bit this weekend, and not with the Lazio loss because that was a bad loss in terms of it wasn't good at all. But some of the stuff afterwards on Inzaghi. So like, let me bring this tweet up. So this is shout out to @InterExtra on Twitter. It's run by a friend of mine, so he's done very well to do this. Translates the news into tweets. So he tweets out. He translated from Gazzetta. Simone Inzaghi, and this is not on InterExtra, by the way. This is how Gazzetta's kind of used the headline. Simone Inzaghi has effectively removed Christian Asllani from the rotation of midfielders as the manager sees him only as a vice Brozovic. And look at the comments. And again, I'm not firing shots at any of you because some of you are, you guys watch my, like Indra. Indra's right there on the top. Sorry, Indra, we have to use you as the example. I don't know if Indra's here. He's like, if it's true, Inzaghi is an idiot. Like, look at all these like comments. Inter needs a more experienced manager. Inzaghi out. Intertwined shaking his head, but not Gagliardini or a Joker. Everyone's like really overreacting. And look at all the quote tweets as well. They're probably, I haven't even looked at him, but I bet everyone's flaming him. My boy Anthony, remember Anthony's getting impatient. But what I was disappointed, like we talked about this news in my match preview, guys, because Inzaghi was asked, how do you see Asllani? Do you see him as a mezzala? Do you see him as a vice Brozovic? And Inzaghi answered very clearly And I don't know why this came out after the Lazio match, which is why, I was disappointed with how this was used. They've used it as like, oh yeah, this guy is just not going to use him as any of the other midfielders. What Inzaghi said is that he sees him as a regista. He sees him as the vice Brozovic. He was signed. Inzaghi said he was signed to help Brozovic, which is what we wanted. We've all been calling for a vice Brozovic for not just last year. We've been calling for a vice Brozovic for 2 or 3 years. And so Asllani is that. And I've said at the beginning of the season as well, I see the potential in Asllani as a Mezzala or as a more attacking midfielder as well. But one thing I don't like for young midfielders is they end up not being able to be specialized in the position. And doing this probably reduces Asllani's playing time. I agree with that. But this means that, Asllani can really, focus down on that one position. Now learn from Brozovic, one of the best in the world in his position, and, grow in that position, grow as a regista. And, he didn't say that, he didn't completely cancel him out of the rotation. He said that now, especially with Mkhitaryan now, he said he's potentially one of the options. So I just felt that was way too much of a overreaction on this anti-Inzaghi train, just because, we lost at the weekend. And of course, his Lazio, his substitutions, the Gagliardini thing. I agree with all of that. But it was just a little bit too much for me on this past weekend in terms of the reaction and the negativity on Inzaghi. And yeah, so I just wanted to cover that. And especially if you follow my channel, I thought you'd understand what Inzaghi actually said rather than how Gazzetta, framed that as like Inzaghi has removed them as a rotation of the midfielders. Like that, just saying like this guy does not see them as one of the rotational midfielders. Like that's not what Inzaghi said at all. And how would Gazzetta know that anyway? Like how would they, like sometimes they come up with these headlines that the only way you would know that is if you're actually talking to Inzaghi or you're inside his mind or you're part of his coaching staff. So yeah, ridiculous. But yeah, mini rant out of the way. Blame Ahmad for that one. No, I'm joking. What's up, Eduardo in the house as well? Yeah, Jerry. Oh my God, this guy has been tweeting pro Lazio, anti, Inter banter the whole weekend. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Yes, we've got to bounce back now, guys. This Cremonese game is the bounce back time. And yeah, that's the other thing that disappoints me, guys. Like, we talk about it, the media, how they portray Inter and go against Inter. So I would expect a lot of you guys, especially when it's Corriere dello Sport, Gazzetta, these are the big Italian papers that need to be making numbers, selling, clickbaiting. Like this is what they need to do to keep going as a business. Their business is going down drastically over the last few years. So yeah, it's that's why I was a little bit disappointed. But again, I'm not firing shots at anyone. I'm not perfect either. But I was just a little bit disappointed with some section of the fan base. Otlo in the house. Guys, it's a 2-part season. He says, stay competitive in Scudetto fight and get out of the UCL group, which is kind of true. Disappointingly, is kind of true. It is kind of true. This Twitter, what did you expect? I expect better, guys. I have high expectations, especially from you guys. Not Twitter in general. I know Twitter in general, I shouldn't have any expectations. But when I see familiar names from my channel, guys that I know that know ball, I know you guys know ball. You guys are, level. A lot of you guys are level-headed. You know what you're talking about. So that's why, it was a little bit disappointed. But again, it is what it is. Not a big deal. Inzaghi out, guys. Like 3 games in, Inzaghi out, coming out. Like this reminds me of the Conte out brigade when we used to get out the Champions League group. Like to me, it doesn't make any sense to me. The only alibi I would give, Otlo says, after the Lazio loss is that the pitch was poor. Oh yeah, 100%. That pitch was. Serie A needs to do something. Like they need to have some sort of mandate or some sort of rule about pitch quality and pitch, the quality of the grass and the pitch, because we're already three games in, and some of these pitches look like we've been playing on them the whole season. Like it's embarrassing. And this is not like a new thing. This is nothing new to Serie A. This is part of the problems with Serie A. But it's just like crazy that the fact that we're 3 games in and we're complaining about the quality of pitches. And you kind of you go away to Lecce, I expect that, but Roma, the Olimpico, the benchmark stadium for Italy, where the Italian national team plays, where international games happen, and this is the quality of the pitch. Yeah, it was bad. But I agree, that was probably the only excuse you could give to the players. Yeah, I agree, Niak. Inzaghi out overreacting. Nerazzurri and Neo, we want Onana. We want Onana. We want Onana. Ole, ole. Ole, ole. We want Onana. We want Onana. Ole, ole. Ole, ole. Well, let me get into it. Let me get a few more of your comments out of the way. I ranted. Yeah, I saw you, Eduardo, in the what's it called, the Discord chat. I saw you were ranting a lot, but I ignored it. I was away this weekend. Actually, I was away, so I was having like a nice time away. So I actually got to switch off from Twitter and stuff like that. But yeah, I did see it. But yeah, that's not, if you need to run, you can run. Like, that's all good. Fans need to understand how media operates. They take advantage of the current negative environment surrounding Inter and package its news in a certain way to create more buzz and clicks. I couldn't have said it any better, Ahmed. Thank you. We must rotate against Cremonese or sub at 60th minute because those two games have the mentality and toughness to grind that victory. Yes, I agree. And I think Inzaghi is looking to do that. Just compared to last year, we have 1 point less than match day 3 last year. And we tied 2-2 against Sampdoria at that time. Yeah. And again, I will, you guys know I like to bring up the Soccer Stats website to compare where we are exactly at this point of the season compared to last season. But the best comparison is actually to compare it game per game. So how did we do, like in the same game, Lazio last season, Milan last season, like that's the best comparison. So are you doing better than last year? Because obviously the schedule is not going to be the same as it was last season. So that's probably the best comparison. But I will use that comparison tool throughout the season to see where we are compared to last year. But yeah, let's get into the match preview. We're 11 minutes in, and I've just talked about not much stuff. We got King Darian joining us in the house is all right on time for the match preview and for the potential good news of big Andre Onana starting. So let me share my screen with you and show you the places that have Onana starting. So first is Sky Sport Italia. You guys know I like to use it. And again, you saw last time around against Lazio, guys, Sky Sport Italia didn't get it right. They had Gosen starting, and they had I think they had Chala started. Like, they didn't get those things right. But I don't pill up these and expect them to be 100% right. But I just feel like usually they're quite reliable. But we'll bring up a few up today just to see a variety of predicted lineups, because usually these guys have some more inside news than we have. So yeah, there he is, Andre Onana, potentially starting according to Sky Sport Italy. Same back line, but Onana, I think, yeah, this is the game. This is the game that, if we're gonna start Onana, this is the game to do it. Let me move to the side where we know when we sign Onana as the long-term Handanovic replacement. Inzaghi has said this, for now, Handanovic is still my guy. He's still my number one. He's still the captain. Okay, we agree with that. But he's only has the contract until the end of the season. You have to bring in Onana through at some point. And these are the games where he should be tested, because this is, it's Serie A, so there's no low risk game. Every game matters, but out of all the games, these against the newly promoted team, surely this is the game where you can take a little risk and put Onana in. And I hope it happens. And I don't want to sell you guys the dream. I'm not trying to sell you guys the dream. I know a lot of you are wanting Onana to start. I want Onana to start, and he needs to start, because we don't want him to go rusty on the bench, because he already was rusty last year. We saw at the AFCON. We saw at Ajax, this guy was making mistakes. He was rusty. He wasn't making the same save that we saw him do at Ajax the last few years before his 1 year ban, guys. This guy's coming from a 1 year ban where he couldn't even train with Ajax. He had to train on his own. No professional football. And even, as I said, when he came back, he didn't look great. So, and even if he does start because of that, guys, I'm actually expecting Onana not to be that great. I'm expecting mistakes from Onana. I'm expecting some rustiness from Onana, but we need to do that. We need to get that out of the way. We need to let him play and start to get his match fitness back. Because even for keepers, there's a match fitness. I know these guys don't run like our outfield players do, but there's a level of fitness that keepers need to reach as well. So I do hope that Sky Sport Italy are right. Sport Media Set, on the other hand, they still have Handanovic starting. So this is, but I use Sport Media some more visually because they have a nice like layout here, but they're not usually particularly great at lineup prediction. Now Gazzetta dello Sport have Onana starting. I think they were bang on accurate with the lineup predictions for Lazio. They had a Gagliardini starting. So this is two out of the three places I use for lineup predictions, and that are saying that Onana starting. So that is pointing to the fact that Inzaghi is looking to rotate Onana. So yeah, I think we're gonna be. It looks like we might be seeing the Onana debut, but again, I'm not gonna, really hold on it until I actually see him on the pitch, because, as I said, it looks to me like Inzaghi seems pretty set on Handanovic being his number one. But I hope he does bring Onana in for this one. Yeah, I agree. Marvel people are a little bit panicky because Inzaghi ball is not quite there yet either as well. I agree. I think Correa and Lautaro should start. Yeah, we shall see. It looks like it'll be Dzeko Martinez, Onana, Correa, Asllani start, please. RDP says, yeah. So Sky Sport Italy has Asllani starting instead of Brozovic. Now this one I really don't see happening, to be honest, because I don't see why. I think the two players actually in our team that need a little bit still to continue playing are Brozovic and Skriniar, because they're both. Skriniar especially, we see he's still not 100%, and Brozovic had that little niggling issue with his calf at the beginning of the season, so he still doesn't look 100% fit. So I still think these two need to come up and still continue playing for a little bit, and then bring on, especially Asllani, bring him on maybe 20-30 minutes and give Brozovic that rest towards the end. Narazuria Nell says Onana can be so good, but sometimes he's too comfortable with building up, and that is why I'm a little bit worried, because he has no match rhythm. Yeah, we talked about it when we made the scout report when we signed Onana, last year now, when I made that video with an Ajax fan, and we talked about this is even if he is match fit Onana, he can be a little bit overconfident on the ball because he is so good on the ball. He's one of those goalkeepers that could play outfield because he's so good on the ball, but that sometimes plays against him because he can be a little bit, lackadaisical, takes too long on the ball because he's so comfortable. Yeah, I'll talk about that afterwards. And yeah, we'll talk quickly about the Lukaku news. So it looks like, unfortunately, Lukaku is out definitely for the Cremonese match, and probably, yeah, they said pretty confirmed that it will be for the Milan derby, unfortunately, at the weekend, which is obviously not good news at all. And that's the problem. I hope, with Lukaku, this is what happened to him at Chelsea as well last season, because he did have a good start at Chelsea, and then he got injured, and then it took him like 3 weeks to come back, and then reintegrating, trying to get up to fitness again, because we know this guy, just because of his physique, because of his body, how he's made, it takes him longer to get into full fitness. And even now he wasn't at full fitness, and then now this is gonna stop his fitness building up once again, have a stop. So this is not good news at all. And then at Chelsea, so he had that one injury at the beginning, and then he came back from injury. I think it took him like 3 or 4 weeks. I think it was a little bit more serious. That injury was a little bit more a serious muscular injury. This seems to be like a thigh strain, so it shouldn't be too bad. But still, stops him from running and being match fit. So yeah, it's not good news, because even when he comes back, then he's not going to be still back to in his peak shape. So it's definitely not something that we needed right now, because we need him to have a real clear run to build his fitness up to his old levels. And yeah, as it says here from Tutto Sport, so he's likely to return next month, which sounds bad, but next month is like two days away. But you probably missed the Cremonese game, you probably missed the Serie A game. Maybe he'll be back for the Bayern Munich midweek, but still probably won't want to risk him if he's not fully fit. So the likeliest return, as Tutto Sport says, is September 11th. So literally just 2 weeks, not that bad at all, but not good for, as I said, to build up his fitness levels ahead of the dead, because we won him especially for the Milan derby. This is one of the games I've been looking forward to having him in against Milan. Apologies if I'm freezing a little bit. I see my internet's kind of going up and down a bit. But yeah, it is what it is. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. Predicted to replace him at the moment is Dzeko. So it's the return of, as I said, the duo that I don't really like seeing together. But at the same time, guys, I know I always really talk down on this duo, this partnership. But last season they did the business for most of the season, so it's not like it's the end of the world. It's still a good duo, Dzeko Lautaro, but it's just not as good as other duos. I definitely 100% rather see Tucu Correa play, and I don't understand why Inzaghi, even though Correa is his guy, and we've seen that Correa and Martinez really link up much better. Why Inzaghi really does not like to sacrifice Dzeko from the starting 11, but it is what it is. Yeah, and every predicted lineup, all three of the predicted lineups have Dzeko starting ahead of Correa. So I'm guessing this one is probably pretty bang on. If none of the predicted lineups have him, so yeah. But again, it's not my ideal, but it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. I think it's definitely, guys. Again, this is the overreaction, like if Martinez and Dzeko play, but it's definitely good enough to beat Cremonese. There's no doubts about that. Yeah, if it is Dzeko Martinez for this one, I hope 100% it is Cola or Correa Lautaro against Milan, because we saw last year how much better they did, and when we smashed them 3-0 in the Coppa Italia, how well they played together. Yeah, and I hope Niak, this is what he does, that it will be Dzeko tomorrow and then Correa for the derby. Yeah, so Lukaku, yeah, pretty much. You might be on the bench, but I doubt it from what they've said. And I think you wouldn't want to rush him as well. Lukaku is too important to this team. I don't think they'll rush him back. So I think it's pretty much confirmed. By the way, it's a joke that no one got. Why is it a joke? Like that's a good thing. That's a good thing that no team got 9 points. That means that again, this is what we're talking about. It's a balance. It's quite a balanced league. It's going to be very close. There's no 9-0s in this league. Not firing shots at any particular league. But the best league in the world having 9-0 results, and there's no comment. Elsewhere, it looks like Darmian, the right wing back. Again, Inzaghi did say, again, you have to listen to what Inzaghi is saying, and when we preview what Inzaghi says before the matches, guys, you got to remember. So Inzaghi, before the Lazio game, when they asked him about changes between every match now that the matches are coming, he said, I'm going to do at least, he said, I'm looking to do 3 to 4 changes per match now in this busy period, which is good, because remember last season, I hope he's learned from that lesson that you can't play all the same guys every time. Like, you need to rotate a little bit more to keep everyone fresh and ready, because this season is going to be crazy, guys. I think we have to play 19 matches before the World Cup, like in such a short period. It's going to be a very, very busy period. So Sky Sport are saying that he's bringing Matty Dams in and starting Gosens in, whereas Sport Media still has Dumfries, but still Gosens, and Gazzetta has Dumfries and Gosens. So one thing I'm pretty sure, Robin Gosens is starting this one, and I'm happy. He should have started against Lazio, and I think we did pay for it because of Di Marco's mistake for the first goal. I'm not going to fully blame it on him, but that is the weakness of Di Marco. The defensive side. And I think Gosens is more disciplined in that sense. Like, Gosens is someone that, again, he's not someone who loves defending. He's not like an outright defender, but he's someone who's definitely, physically anyway, more suited to being a defender. And his fitness levels are higher than Di Marco, because with Di Marco, you can just see when you watch Di Marco, he doesn't have that. Obviously, no one's like Perisic where he's sprinting up and down the whole match, but you saw for that goal, he was just a little bit lazy, like still catching his breath, walking back. He just doesn't have that, crazy fitness. And Gosens, this guy is a guy that does triathlons in the summer. He did a triathlon. Like he's one of these freak athletes that, unfortunately, because of his injury last year, we haven't ever been able to see that. But this guy is at the level of, like, in terms of Perisic, like he's very athletic. Like this guy could do other sports. Like he could partake in other sports because of the way he's, takes care of his body and how his physique is. His jumping, his running, endurance, strength. Like he's got the full package, but we just quite haven't seen that. Ghost is from Atalanta, and some people say, maybe he's missing some of the special injections they give to Atalanta. But I'm not saying that is true. But some people are saying that some of the special Atalanta juice is what he's missing. Silvio in the house, just join in. Thank you for joining, and you can always go back, bro. We talked about the potential lineups and potentially Onana starting. Lateness is greatness. Thank you, Adriel, for coming through as well. We've got, thank God we only point from. So yeah, guys, okay, come on, guys. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the overreaction. Everyone's making out like, oh, that's it. This is the end. Intercon challenge for the title. We're literally right there, guys. We're literally 1 point from the top. Like, yes, we are seventh. Oh no, we're seventh, but we're literally 1 point from behind from everyone. The annoying thing is this stupid X. I do agree. This really annoys me. This X right here. Everyone else has got grays and greens, whilst we have 1x. This is the annoying part. But we are right there. 1 point ahead of Juve. So it's not the end of the world, guys. It really isn't the end of the world. So just give it some time, have some patience, and I still have faith in this team to be challenging for the Scudetto. I keep saying, I don't think we are outright favorites for the Scudetto. I think there's 3 or 4 teams that are going to be fighting it out. Just like, we were last season with Napoli, Milan. So just give it some time. I think that this season it'll be Juventus coming up there. But yeah, don't give up hope just yet, guys. With 3 games in, just give it some time. Gosens needs encouragement from D'Ambrosio like he did with Dumfries. Yeah, I remember last season, and Dumfries had coach Perisic as well. Let's not forget, guys. You remember every time Inter would score, you'd see Perisic taking Dumfries to the side, like, okay, forget about the celebration, and then start giving them some tips or whatever, like, advice. But I'm sure these guys are doing that, guys. He doesn't need. Gosens is a 28-year-old who's experienced. He doesn't need like any of these, visual statements from one of his teammates. Like he's got the trust of his teammates. We know what Gosens is all about. He just needs time. I want Inzaghi. Like I know, as I keep saying, I said this when we had Ericsson. Whenever we have a guy coming in, Correa last season, like when you have a guy coming into the team, like you can't like chop in and change every game. You have to give him 3-4 games in a row. You need to give him 70, 80 minutes. Get into the team, get into the rhythm, understand the movement of your teammates, understand what's going on. And then you can decide, like, okay, if Gosens after 3 or 4 games in a row, he's still looking, looking fugazi, then you're like, okay, maybe he's not it. But you can't do it like play him one game, then play him the other game, bring him on as a substitute, expecting to make an impact with 10, 15 minutes left. You have to give him time and give this guy time, guys. And again, I always say he's not my type of player. Gosens, when we signed him, I was happy, but he's not the guy I would have gone for. But he will put up numbers. If Inzaghi trusts him, and if he stays fit, I think this guy will put up good numbers, and I think he will pull up double digits numbers. As I said, I think he will get to double digits in terms of goals and assists by the end of the season. DiMarco shouldn't be starting, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think he will this game. I know for rotation, etc., but he was one of the only good players on Friday. Yeah, I think Dumfries definitely should be starting. I agree. And then, rest him towards the end, 20, 30 minutes. But I guess maybe he wants him for 100%, like, ready and raring for the derby against that guy, that C word, Theo Hernandez. Barzaghi saying Lukaku is out till October, comes back against Roma. Oh, damn. I hope that is not true, Barzaghi. Let's see what he's saying. Let me pull up his Twitter. So Matteo or Marco Barzaghi? Let's have a look, because the 2 brothers. So Matteo Barzaghi, the one who works for Sky Sport, he's just saying He's just talking about the Cremonese game. So let's see the other Barzaghi. Let's try Marco Barzaghi. He works for Sport Media Set. So, okay, so he's saying after the international break, which is when. So Gazzetta is saying he'll miss Cremonese, Milan, and Torino, as this guy says here. Cremonese, Milan, Torino, and even Bayern game, and then maybe he returned for the Victoria Pilsen game. So wait, let me see what the inter fixtures are then. When's the international break? Oh, okay. I don't know. Hopefully, he comes back before that. That would be way too long. That would be a big issue if his stop is that long. That's concerning, but I hope that's not true. Yeah, but Lautaro, continues his amazing track record of scoring on a Friday. I think he's like the record holder in Serie A for scoring on a Friday. Yeah. So there's an international break as usual in September. There's always that annoying one. Yeah, we'll talk about that, of course, Silvio. Of course, that's why I put him in the thumbnail, Radu. 100%. Marco Bazzaghi isn't really reliable, though. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to like these injury type of news, maybe not. He's not super reliable when it comes to like transfer news, but like these inside, club, just like injury news or lineup news, he's, I would say, is a decent source. But yeah, overall, let me just finish up on our lineup. I think, yeah, if it's this, as again, I don't think it'll be Asllani. I think it'll be Brozovic. Hakan, of course, needs to come back. Gosens, of course. Dzeko's fine. Back three is absolutely fine. Although there, maybe I could think of resting someone out of the back line. I wouldn't mind resting someone out of there. Maybe D'Ambrosio coming in for... Again, no, actually, Skriniar, as I said, Skriniar needs to continue playing at the moment. He needs to come back to full fitness. But it looks like there's no rotation at the back, but it's fine. Now let's get into the Cremonese lineup. Let's use someone with more visual there. So Cremonese, of course, we got to talk about the man, the myth, but not the legend, Andre Radu. Of course, Silvio, as Silvio said, he's going to have a point to prove. He has, of course, not had the best time at Inter. He's definitely not, had the progression he probably expected to have on a personal level. And again, it's funny. It's easy to say that this guy, is absolute. After what happened against Bologna, I know it's easy to say this guy is not good enough, but this guy, he proved that at Genoa, and he's doing it already. I know he made the mistake against Fiorentina, awful mistake from Radu. Like, he had a great game, and he ruined it by that mistake. And I felt bad for him because he was almost in tears once again from the mistake. But this guy, in terms of ability, reactions, reflexes, athletic ability, ball playing ability, this guy is a Serie A level goalkeeper, Radu, and I think he'll show it this season at Cremonese. But he's just, and I've said this from the beginning, even when people were hyping him from the Genoa time, he's not going to be a top level goalkeeper. And I think mentally, I don't see this guy recovering from what happened to him last season and what has happened again already at Cremonese to him. He's kind of, Karius, what happened to Karius for Liverpool? Like, I just don't think he'll ever be able to recover mentally from what happened to him. But against Inter, and just how is nothing new. This against Torino, he had a good game as well. Radu, I think he's got the most saves in Serie A at the moment, the highest save percentage in Serie A at the moment. I know it's only 3 games, but he's had a good start to the season, apart from that mistake against Fiorentina. And yeah, we can just see him having the game of his life. And, a lot that happens a lot to goalkeepers that come to the San Siro. We saw that Drogovski just the last week for Spezia as well. So yeah, definitely Radu will be a spine in Inter's back. And yeah, thank you, Mattia, for reminding me. I should be doing that more often. Hit that like button, everyone. Thank you, Mattia, always coming through. So yeah, Radu's vengeance is definitely one point to watch out for in this game. Elsewhere, other talking points. Bianchetti, some of you Primavera merchants might remember him. He used to be our a youth player for Inter, and now he's become the captain for Cremonese, and he's decent. He scored our own goal, unluckily, against Torino, but he's a decent, he's an okay defender. But the defender I like from Cremonese is this guy Vasquez, Johan Vasquez. He was at Genoa last season. He's an up and coming. I think he's young Mexican centre back. So he's one to keep an eye out for. Escalante on loan from Lazio. Ascasibar, some football manager guys might remember him. He used to be one of those guys a few years ago. He used to have a very high potential ceiling and stuff like that. And yeah, Okereke, definitely I picked him in my one player to watch from every team in Serie A, and I've picked Okereke from Cremonese, and he scored in the first game, I believe it was, or the second game. Pacey striker, a Nigerian striker. But this guy's also one to watch. Dessers, they signed him from Belgium, I believe. And he reminds me a bit of if you know about Premier League football, like Troy Dean. He's quite powerful, like muscular, but he's got a really powerful shot on him. He almost scored a cracker of a goal against Roma, but he hasn't scored yet in Serie A since they signed him in the summer. But apart from that, there's not really too much to talk about this Cremonese team. Jordo, I agree. This is definitely one to watch. This is a Eredivisie and Conference League match, and let's give Radu some brown envelopes to make sure that a few shots slip through his hand. Yeah, that would be very good. Yeah. Oh, no, I hope we don't see the Dzeko Lautaro partnership for the derby. Hey, Akash coming through. Now is a real test. Lukaku is injured. Need to see how Inzaghi copes with this, especially with Milan and Bayern. Real test away. Yeah, 100%, Akash, 100%. And that was, I think, the thing that everyone's most disappointed with the Lazio loss is like, that was the first real test of our season. Like, okay, Spezia, we outplayed them, blah, blah, blah. Nice 3-0. Lecce, first game of the season, we sneak past, but okay, 3 points. This one was the first real test, and we failed the first real test. But now with this busy schedule, this is really, already becoming, a tough period for Inter and Inzaghi to manage the team, manage the rotations, and with this Lukaku injury as well. So we'll see what Inzaghi is made of for sure. The fact that we'll play Dzeko, Lautaro, and against Milan and Bayern makes one to give up on the season already. Oh, God. I don't know what to do with you sometimes, Mattia. Dessers was a clutch player for the final. Yeah, I watched a couple of videos when Cremonese signed him. He does look like a decent finisher as well. Let's get ready for 0 passes. Yeah, that's true. But also, against Lazio, Lukaku, Lautaro, 0 passes between them. That was an awful, awful performance. By the way, Lukaku, as I said, was definitely my flop of the match for the match against Lazio. But now I don't know if he was injured whilst we were playing Lazio. That happened afterwards. So maybe that was an excuse for Dzeko's Lukaku's stinky performance against Lazio. I hope Inzaghi plays Dzeko against Cremonese, so Tuku plays. Yeah, we've mentioned that earlier. Jordo, it's not the team, it's Inzaghi. He's a mid-table coach. This is also funny. Like, people were going like, oh, this doesn't happen under Conte. Conte was, the sergeant that was, bringing them up. Do you want me to bring up the results that Conte had against Lazio away? Like, it makes sense to me if you pulled up and you came to me like, look, this is what Conte did against Lazio and it worked. This is how we beat Lazio away, and the Conte, this is where Inzaghi's falling through. No, this is, you pull up the Conte results against the Lazio away at the Olimpico and you see the same exact issues. So that's the thing. And then Conte against Sarri, Inter, we got smacked around by Sarri's Juventus twice, home and away, when it was Sarri's Juve. So it doesn't make too much sense. And I hate the fact that Conte has to be brought up every time we lose a game. Like, we know, guys, we signed Inzaghi because Conte left us. We know it's a downgrade. This is why Conte earns 3 times more than what Inzaghi earns. It's not news that Inzaghi is a downgrade on Conte. Like, that's why Conte earns all that money and why Conte demands all those expensive signings. There's a reason. There's levels to the game, and Inzaghi is not at the Conte level, and Conte showing it at Spurs again. But there's no point in bringing that up every single time we lose to someone, and it's like, oh, Conte this, Conte that. Like, we know what Conte was, and that Inzaghi still he's learning. He's still a young manager in his career. King Darian, sorry, still no updates as far as I know. I've not read anything about the digital bit situation. There's still our sponsors, but they're not the sponsors for our Primavera and our women's team at the moment. So there's still clearly nothing sorted completely. But the fact that they're still being shown as sponsors, actually, what's the here? Let's have a look on the website. Are they listed now as one of our official sponsors yet, or what? Because I know they were listed at one point and then they were taken off. So technical sponsors. No, so they're not on the website still. So clearly it's not been still not been resolved, the issue, because I don't see the logo around here. I see eFootball, I see Lenovo, I see Nike. So yeah, clearly it's not been still not resolved, the issue. Hey, Conte sexual. Yeah, man, I'm a Conte sexual. Conte is probably my favorite manager in world football at the moment. But I just hate the fact that we have to bring it up every time we lose. And yeah, there you go. That's the stat to explain everything. We have won against Lazio in Rome since 2018. I think Inzaghi has what it takes. Issue is when will he kick in? When will he take that next step? But also at the same time, guys, we spend so much time here like talking about the issues off the pitch, but then when we come to critiquing Inzaghi, it's like we forget about all of those, and why that is why Conte left as well, because he knew that this is not the perfect, is not the place for him to bring his ideas through, take that project to the next level. So whilst he's working, we have to also remember the things that we're talking about every single day here. The people, we say Suningao, we say Steven Zhang, we want new owners, we can't buy players, we're having to buy a Cherby, we can't compete on the transfer market, we have to sell players, we have to make plus 60 million. Our players are linked with someone every single day. Skriniar, we don't even know if he might be sold by tomorrow. So he has all these things to work as well. Like he has these difficulties to work with at the same time. And as I keep saying, to me, the guy that must feel the pressure is the guy sitting in Turin, the guy who's getting Di Maria, Vlahovic and Zakaria bought for him in January. Pogba bought for him, Bremer bought for him. He doesn't have to sell his key players, and he's the highest paid coach in the league, the team with the highest salary in the league, the highest budget in the league. That's the guy in Turin. He's the one who should be having all the pressure. Hey Tommy, can't seem to catch a live stream. This big up the community. We're beating Milan and Bayern Forza Inter. Yeah, bro. Make sure you join the Discord. I don't think I've seen you, Tommy, in the Discord yet. So make sure you join up the Discord, and everyone else, of course. Cannot blame Inzaghi because Zhang also doesn't buy players, even rejected a Cherby. Yeah, let me quickly cover that news that's broke through today. Thank you, Gosh, for reminding me. So news that's broke through just a few moments ago is that Inzaghi, President Zhang is against the signing of Acerbi. So I don't know whether, and obviously you see all the comments, everyone is like happy and say, yeah, Steven Zhang in, Suning in. And it's coming from Fabrizio Bizin, who is a pretty reliable source when it comes to insider news. So yeah, conferme su Inter Acerbi, Zhang is against this operational, this move. So I think it's more, I don't know if he's against it as in like he doesn't want Acerbi himself, but I don't think Zhang has that type of say in terms of players that he wants. Like he doesn't have a footballing say on the names of the players. So I think what I've read around is that he's opposed to the Acerbi move because of his salary, because it's going to cost into like 2 to 3 million on the gross level, which is actually not that much, but maybe his age profile, maybe Zhang is the one that's pushing to maybe have a younger team. So I'm not quite sure, because the headline is quite short. It's just like Zhang is against the Cherby move, which obviously we're gassed about. But I wonder what the exact reasoning is for that. Why he's against the signing. But yeah, I hope that maybe that means that he wants to go for someone who's a little bit younger. I agree. I would agree with that. But it looks like Chalobah isn't on the cards anymore. I think Tanganga is going to Nottingham Forest now. So I don't know. Maybe the Kanji situation opens. But again, a Kanji wouldn't be anything cheaper, even if it's a loan. He would still be decent level of wages. So I'm not sure. No, Fontana Rosa definitely don't want. I hope it's not Fontana Rosa, because I didn't really like what I saw in preseason, and I don't want to throw the poor boy in the deep end if De Vrij gets injured. Physically, the guy looks even weaker than me. No, the Aramco stuff, bro. Like they've been talking about it for a year. I've talked about it on my channel until there's confirmed talks from like reliable sources. I'm not talking about other YouTube channels bringing up random sources that they have. Mattia, you didn't want a Cherby. Now you like you could. There's never any pleasing you, Mattia. Yeah, that's the question, Adrio. That's the question. If not Acerbi, then who? I thought Acerbi was the guy that unfortunately was the guy that made everyone happy, because Inzaghi would be happy. To a degree, I guess Marotta and Co would be happy because he's an Inzaghi ready, experienced guy. And I thought Zhang would be happy because he's like on a free loan option to buy, and okay-ish salary. I thought he would be happy as well. But yeah, if not Acerbi, then who? I don't know. Life was good when there was Triba rumor. Yeah, but you should know, Jordo, that rumor makes no sense because we don't have 15 millions to drop. Yeah, but it wouldn't, but Akanji wouldn't be. We're not looking to buy anyone. That's the thing. Harsh. Anyone that we get right now would be a free transfer or a loan. So if it's the Akanji deal, it would be him renewing with Dortmund for another season, and then we're getting an option on that. So that's the only way that one works. Why not keep Zinho then? Well, the boy was injured. I think he just needs to play. And again, he probably wouldn't get as much. We can't trust the guy who's not played, guys, as well. Like I know maybe it makes sense theoretically to have Zinho in, but what's Zinho proven in last 3 or 4 years apart from getting 2 ACL injuries? Poor guy. So yeah, it is what it is. We show Theo, you have all my admiration. These days I already think about the Conference League, bro. Wow. Come on, Wisho. I know you always put some positive propaganda on Twitter. I know you're one of the more positive ones. So you're definitely one of the positive guys. Yeah, Agume is still at Inter. That's another situation that needs to be resolved. This guy, I am confused of Inter's handling of the Agume situation, honestly. Again, I don't think Agume is Inter level, unfortunately, from what I've seen. But again, this is not the way you treat an asset. Like the guy is worth 10, 15 million euros, surely, after what he's shown in Ligue 1 last year. Not that, he moved heaven and earth and he was, player of the season or anything, but, he was a decent player in Ligue 1, playing most of the games. And now I think he may actually made the squad for the last, I think he was part of the squad for Lazio. But the first 2 games, I don't think he was part of the squad from what I remember reading the squad list. So they're trying. I read that his entourage is having talks with Inter. They want to obviously resolve his situation. They only have like a couple of days left till the transfer window, and he's rejected. I think Cremonese actually, funnily, was one of the teams that were interested in him, but I think he rejected Cremonese. And again, it looks like it might be a Ligue 1 loan. But again, like, it's just a weird handling of like an asset. Like, this is not the way to really handle an asset and increase the price or keep the price. Like, even when you're struggling financially, shouldn't you be trying to maximize the money you get from these types of players too? So it's just kind of confusing to me, like the handling of the Agume situation. Zhang himself is our last defender. Agume, Vice De Vrij. No, 100% no. Yeah, thank you once again, DJ Nasco. You guys do the job better than me. I always forget to remind people, but please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. It's good that we aren't going for Acerbi, but the reason why we're going for him is bad because we can't afford him. Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, let's finish up now, guys. This preview has been actually a bit longer than I thought, but you guys have been so active. Yeah, 65 people. I didn't expect that today. But it's a bank holiday here in England, so maybe there's some more time. And yeah, I've been saying this, RDP, at this rate, it might have just made sense to renew Ranocchia, to be honest, because he was on 1.5 million net, like he was on very low wages. He was happy being a substitute. Or maybe he didn't want to renew. We don't know. Maybe he wants to go out and play. And unfortunately, now he's injured for like 2 or 3 months. But at this rate, it might have just made sense to convince Ranocchia to just renew. But let's see. Maybe Auxilio and Marotta can pull out something of the back pocket before the end of the transfer window. But yeah, so Cremonese, Inter Cremonese at home, guys. Cremonese are coming off 3 losses in a row. Inter, of course, coming 2 wins and 1 loss. None of the newly promoted teams have won a game yet, guys. Monza is the one team I thought they might do better, but not even them. So surely at some point these teams have to get a result somewhere. But I don't think it'll be this one. But I do think this will be a difficult match, guys. I'm not just saying it because to be negative, but Cremonese, coming off 3 losses, coming to the San Siro, you guys know how it is when these teams come to the San Siro, they play with no pressure. They'll have like 100 or something fans in some corner, singing and shouting, supporting them. They'll play the game of their life. Radu will play the game of his life. And Cremonese, I forgot to mention that when I was talking about them, their style of play, Juric talked about it before Torino Cremonese. They play that high pressing kind of man-to-man pressing system that Torino played, that Atalanta played, that Hellas Verona played last season. Like they play that type of football. And Juric said, you need to be brave to play that style of football. So they're not like terrorist team, but I do see them probably sitting back tomorrow against us and parking the bus probably, because that's just the smart way of doing things. But if they do come out and press us, this is the teams that we struggle against. We don't under Inzaghi. I usually see us struggling more against the pressing teams than the terrorist teams. So yeah, I think it's going to be a difficult match. Give me your match predictions, guys, before we leave. We saw Ron. I think we were getting Bremer. No, we didn't sell him. We just his contract expired. But yeah, of course but also the Bremer thing. Remember, there was also the Skriniar outgoing in the whole potential Bremer deal. Eduardo says 2-1 to Inter. They'll put up a good fight. How about 3-0 with a goal from Cremonese being an own goal from Radu? Oh God, that would be crazy. The memes will be unmatched if that happens. And again, you see how everyone was being negative and everything, and now look at these match previews or like predictions now, guys. 3-0, 2-0, 3-0, 3-0, 4-0, 2-0, 4-0, 7-0. But it'll make us sweat for a while, and Radu will be prime Neuer. Yeah, that's guaranteed. Now King Darian's being a bit more cautious. 2-1 Inter, 1-0 from Jordo, Darmian goal. Hey, Matty Doms, 9-0 like some certain league. I'm not saying anything, RDP. 2-1 Lautaro Gosens. Comfortable 3-0 win. Barella and Hakan both will score. Yeah, we need a Barella goal. I'm waiting for a Barella goal. Well, if we can be, I'm just gonna ignore Mattia. I can't take this already. 3 games in, I can't take this energy from you right now. 3-0. Imagine Inter's back line and front line with Dybala. Don't hurt us, Emil. Don't hurt us like that. 3-1, 2-1, similar to Lecce. Please no, similar to Lecce. Niak again. Hey, you sure you want to do that, Niak? I remember your predictions about the Lazio game. Don't go too overboard. 1-1 draw, Radu man of the match. That would be the worst, to be honest. Just the draw and the Radu man of the match. 3-0 Lautaro, Jaco Barella. Okay. So, yeah, Barella's in my fantasy team as well, so I need him. I'm going to go for... I don't think they're going to score. I don't know. They don't really have much up front, but Okereke on the counter-attack and Dessers on the counter-attack could give us some trouble. It's a difficult one. I think it could be one of those big scoring matches where it really opens up if Inter score early. But then I also see it, being a pain in the ass if Inter don't score early. I'm leaning to what Akash says, to be honest. I'm going... Depends who starts in goal. I'm going to go for a 2-0. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for a 2-0. Stephen Henry just joined. Onana needs to play. I think you will, as we previewed, bro. Flick back to the beginning of the preview. But it looks like Onana is going to start, bro. But don't hold me to it. Thank you, Michael, for the nice words from Sempre Inter here. Yeah, appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to go for Gosens. I think if Gosens starts, if he gets 70, 75 minutes, I think Robin Gosens will open his account for this season. I think Gosens will score and a goal from, Lautaro to continue his good form. I think Lautaro to continue his good form. I agree for the Lautaro form to continue. It'll be nice to see Dzeko scoring if he does start. I think he'll do his confidence a load of good with Onana 0 goals, with Honda minimal 1. Why have our defenders gone slow this season? They've always been slow, bro. Like they've never been good in open space. They've never been good in open space. I think they just look a little bit heavy at the moment because it's early on in the season. Appreciate that, Mattia. Dzeko Lauti versus Tuku Lauti. The result depends on Limone. I agree. Oh God, Joseph. Oh no, he's going for a 1-1. Steven Lukaku is injured. He's out for at least 2 to 3 games. So yeah, and unfortunately, I see us struggling to score. Ooh, man. Joseph is not feeling good. He is not feeling good. Nah, come on. I see at least 2 goals from us this one. Onana assist this game. Hey, that would be nice. That would be nice to show Inzaghi. And again, guys, if Onana does make a mistake, if he does start, don't come here and say this is why Onana will start like this. I am expecting some rustiness from Onana, and that's why he needs to be playing, and that's why Inzaghi needs to play him, because if this guy sits on the bench, he'll just continue being rusty. But yeah, thank you very much for joining, guys. I hope that Inter come through tomorrow, 7:45 p.m. kickoff time in Italy, Italian time. Oh, no, sorry. Oh no, wait. Yeah. 8:45 Italian kickoff time, so 7:45 for me in the UK. And Milan kickoff earlier before us, so Milan Sassuolo, which again, not expecting much from Sassuolo. So yeah, we need a win 100%. Silvio is very confident 4-0 for us. I see an angry response smashing coming from Dzeko, Barella, Bastoni, Dumfries. That would be amazing. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone that joined in. Appreciate you all. Almost went out an hour long live stream. I didn't expect that. Usually my pre-match streams are like, half an hour, 40 minutes max. But you guys have been very active. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much, everyone that's interacted and commented and liked. Make sure you're leaving a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel. Thank you, Bokar, once again, who did a super sticker donation. Appreciate that a lot. Ciao ragazzi, hope to see this guy starting tomorrow, and hopefully this guy doesn't have the game of his life. Ciao ragazzi, Porta Inter.